A New Jersey police officer responding to a call about a hoodied vagrant curled up asleep in a bar doorway roused him and quickly recognized the bearded face of perhaps the most wanted man in America right now, Ahmad Khan Rahami, identified in an FBI bulletin just hours earlier as a man wanted in the weekend bombings in New York City and New Jersey, pulled a gun, shot the officer, and triggered a running gun battle in the street that ended with Rahami wounded and in custody late Monday. A bloodied Rahami was loaded into the back of an ambulance just 50 hours after the first blast that started it all. Rahami, 28, a naturalized U.S. citizen from Afghanistan who lived with his family in Elizabeth, New Jersey, underwent surgery for a gunshot wound to the leg as authorities began drawing up charges in a case that spread fear across New York and revived anxiety about homegrown terror. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio said officials have every reason to believe the series of bombings was an act of terror, though investigators said Rahami's exact motive is not yet clear. With Rahami's arrest, officials said they have no indications there are more bombs or suspects to find, though they cautioned that they are still investigating. The probe started when a pipe bomb blew up Saturday morning in Seaside Park, New Jersey, before a charity race to benefit Marines. No one was injured. Then a shrapnel-packed pressure cooker bomb, similar to those used in the Boston Marathon attack, exploded Saturday night in New York's Chelsea section, wounding 29 people, none seriously. An unexploded pressure cooker bomb was found blocks away. Late Sunday night, local time, 5 explosive devices were discovered in a trash can at an Elizabeth train station. Investigators said they are still gathering evidence and have not publicly tied Rahami to those devices. Late Monday, local time, a hospitalized Rahami was charged in New Jersey with 5 counts of attempted murder of police officers in connection with the shootout and was held on a $5.2 million bail. Federal prosecutors said they were still weighing charges over the bombings. It wasn't known if Rahami had an attorney. Messages left for family members were not immediately returned. Rahami lived with his family above their fried chicken restaurant in Elizabeth, and his relatives have clashed with the city over closing times and noise complaints they said were tinged with anti-Muslim sentiment. A childhood friend, Flea Jones, said Rahami had become more religious after returning from a trip to Afghanistan several years ago. But William Sweeney Jr., the FBI's assistant director in New York, said there were no indications Rahami was on law enforcement's radar at the time of the bombings. Authorities zeroed in on him as a potential bomber after a fingerprint and DNA lifted from one of New York's sites and clear-as-day surveillance video from the bombing scene helped identify him, according to 3 law enforcement officers who spoke on the condition of anonymity because they were not authorized to discuss the case with newswires. 5 people were pulled over Sunday night in a vehicle associated with Rahami but were questioned and released, declining to say whether they might later face charges. The law enforcement officials said at least one of Rahami's relatives was in the car, which appeared headed towards Kennedy Airport in New York after coming from New Jersey. Linden Mayor Derek Armstead said the break in the case came late Monday morning when a bar owner reported someone asleep in his doorway. Jack Mazza, co-manager of the nearby VCMR truck services, said the bar owner came over exclaiming about the sleeping man, and Mazza walked over to see a man curled up with a sweatshirt hood pulled over his head in the rain. He looked like a bum, Mazza said. After an officer arrived and recognized Rahami, Rahami shot the officer, who was saved by his bulletproof vest. More officers joined in a gun battle that spilled into the street. As the East Coast was rattled by the bombings, a man who authorities say referred to Allah wounded 9 people in a stabbing rampage at a Minnesota mall Saturday before being shot to death by an off-duty police officer. Authorities are investigating it as a possible terror attack but have not drawn any connection between the bloodshed there and the bombings in the New Jersey, New York area. Around the time Rahami was captured, President Barack Obama was in New York on a previously scheduled visit for a meeting of the UN General Assembly. Donald Trump called for using whatever lawful methods are available to get information from Rahami and mocked the fact that he would actually receive quality medical care and legal reps, and called for profiling foreigners who looked like they could have connections to terror or certain Mideastern countries. Rahami's father Muhammad and two of Rahami's brothers sued the city of Elizabeth in 2011 after it passed an ordinance requiring the restaurant First American Fried Chicken to close early because of complaints from neighbors that it was a late-night nuisance. The Rahamis charged in that lawsuit that they were targeted by neighbors because they are Muslims. The lawsuit was terminated in 2012 after Muhammad Rahami pleaded guilty to blocking police from enforcing the restrictions on the restaurant. Hillary Clinton said Donald Trump's anti-Muslim rhetoric gives aid and comfort to Islamic terrorists by helping them recruit fighters. The building that houses the family's restaurant and home has been cordoned off. Quick recap. A New Jersey police officer responding to a call about a hoodied vagrant curled up asleep in a bar doorway early Monday morning local time roused him and quickly recognized the bearded face of perhaps the most wanted man in America right now. Ahmad Khan Rahami has been arrested, identified in an FBI bulletin just hours earlier. And this is for the weekend bombings in New York City and New Jersey. He pulled a gun, shot the officer, and was wounded in a gun battle barely hours ago. That man on your screen, Rahami, lived with his family above their fried chicken restaurant in Elizabeth, New Jersey, and his relatives have clashed with the city over closing times and noise complaints earlier. A childhood friend says Rahami had become more religious after returning from a trip to Afghanistan several years ago. Ahmad Khan Rahami arrested for the New York and New Jersey weekend bombings.